Hey, this is Chris Leiter, and I'm reviewing a couple things that were sent to me. They were sent in the mail from an Amazon shop. These are lightning to card camera readers. They both have USB input, but this one over here also has a lightning input for power. They both have SD card and micro SD card input slots. So I'm going to go ahead and try these out and see how they work. I'm going to try out the one that only has the SD card and the USB port first. Go ahead and open it up. Alright, so in the package we've got the reader itself and a little user manual. It says it's compatible with iOS 9.1 or later. Let's give this a shot. So I have in my DJI Spark, I have a micro SD card. Just like that. It doesn't actually click in, it just sets in. This is running iOS 12, iPad Pro 10.5. So go ahead and plug this in. Alright, so it's reading. Okay, so we've got stuff from the DJI Spark. So that looks good. And then in my Canon 6D, I've got a 64 gig SD card. We'll go ahead and give that a shot. There we go. Plug that in. All right. So it's pulling photos off of my SD card, and some of these are raw, like those are raw files. It seems to be working. Cool. I'm going to go ahead and do the same test with this one. Again, the packaging, there's the user manual as well as the device. There's a significant difference in size here, as this one has a lightning port as well, so you can charge to it. I want to try out the SD card, and if it's the same way. Nope, it's backwards. Or not. Getting these inside the reader is tricky. There we go. Okay. So plug that in. Okay. Works in a similar fashion. Okay, so to test out the USB port on both of these, I want to go ahead and just plug in a USB cable to a couple devices. Since both of these operate very similarly, except that this one is powered, I'm going to use the powered one, which will allow me to plug in other devices that the other one won't support because of power draw from USB. So this is plugged in to an iPad charger. I'm going to go ahead and put the memory card back in my Canon. And I'll set this over here with a USB cable plugged into it. This is the wrong USB cable. Canon still uses a mini, not a micro. Plug that in, set her down over here, and she's on. Go ahead and plug this into the iPad. The iPad is charging because it's plugged in, and just plug the USB into here. And that was almost instantaneous. Let's see, it seems to load slower from the camera than it does directly from the SD card. And it seems to be similar to the functionality you get from the official Apple USB 3 camera kit. All right, so these two readers work very well. I would recommend going with a powered reader, which has the ability to plug in USB sticks, which require more power, that this one wouldn't support. This one would support it if it's plugged into power. So for example, plug this in and plug in a USB key. I don't think there's any images on it, so it won't really pop up, but interesting. Okay, now here's a limitation, because I tested this exact USB key with the official Apple this is the exact same USB key on the official Apple reader. And plug that in. And that read, there's no images on it, so it's just going into my photos, but it read the card. So if there were photos on it, I'd see them. But on this one, it didn't read it because it said it required too much power, even though it was plugged in. So it seems there might still be some limited functionality. It was passing charging to the iPad, which might be useful if you are doing a lot of work on your iPad and you need to access a card reader, but it didn't seem to want to power this USB stick. So there seems to be some limitations. For the price, I think it's a great buy, especially if you want to have an all-in-one card reader solution. I would still go with this one, especially for the price. But I think there's still a market for the official Apple USB 3 camera kit. So that's a quick look at these two. Their link is in the description. Just want to make sure that you understand that this was a sponsored video, but I told them that I was going to be as honest as possible. I think they're a great value, but as we just saw, there is at least one shortcoming of these devices, and I told the retailer that I would be as honest as possible about these. So there you go. That's my quick take on these two devices. I recommend just buying this. It's great to have. Card reader is fantastic. There you go.